Hi guys, something really exciting for you today, hopefully, and very different to the kind of stuff that I usually do. So I'm partnering up with Stake. It's not a paid sponsorship, but it is a winner takes all competition. So what we're doing is I'm going to go head to head with Pete from Conversation of Money, and we're going to have 6 weeks to invest into stocks of our choice, and then at the end the person with the highest value portfolio gets to scoop up both portfolios. So complete winner takes all. It's going to be exciting and intense, and I am absolutely petrified, but hopefully we'll have a bit of fun along the way. So the first thing to mention is that clearly this isn't a strategy that I normally use. I don't normally go for short-term trading. Everything I do is very, very long-term, and this is going to be very different. So it could all go horribly wrong, or it could go really well, who knows? But that was part of the appeal for me for basically doing this. It's going to be fun and different, and we'll see what we can learn along the way. So this is going to be a 6-week long battle starting now, and we'll give you updates along the way of how we are getting on. I've chosen the renewable energy sector because I feel like this is one of the current hot topics. A lot of people are talking about renewable energy, and it is one of those sort of hot investment areas right now. So what we're doing is each of us is picking a sector, and it's going to be almost like a sector versus sector thing. So it's basically going to be renewables versus tech, as I believe Pete is doing tech. I'm totally going to lose, aren't I? But if you have any suggestions for me, I have already asked in my Facebook group and my Instagram, but if you do have any other suggestions, put them in the comments below of any sort of hot renewable energy stocks that you think are going to make big gains in a short space of time. So the way that I'm going to approach this in terms of research is, first of all, Stake have a lot of functionality for research, and they also have analyst ratings, which I've talked about before and I really, really like. So definitely going to utilize that, and it's really cool doing this with them because they obviously have such a wide range of US stocks. It obviously does mean we're limited to US stocks because they don't have like UK listed stocks, but clearly the US stock market is a lot bigger, and I think that in the renewable energy sector, the US is going far in a shorter space of time because obviously with Biden coming in, he pledged to make America a lot more renewable, if that makes sense. I'll also obviously get suggestions from you guys and do a little bit of research with websites like Simply Wall Street. But as with anything short term, it is important that if you want high rewards, it is going to be high risk. So just going to highlight that right now. Most of these investments are going to be very, very speculative and high risk. So again, just reiterating, not my usual approach. So not encouraging at all to be, fully speculative in all your investments, but I will probably pick a few safer stocks initially just to hold and see how they do alongside the more speculative ones. If you haven't heard of Stake before, check out the video I did reviewing them a while back. They are an awesome app for investing in the US stock market, especially now that Trading 212 have introduced a FX charge for each transaction. So definitely go check that out if you haven't already. And then obviously a little bit of Google and trying to figure out, what stocks are being talked about, which ones have had really high growth recently, which stocks have had a lot of transactions and are therefore more popular. So I did sit down with Pete to discuss this further. So what I'm going to do now is insert the clip of the call we had that we recorded for you guys, so you could just have a bit of an insight into how we're going to approach this. So that's it for now. Make sure you follow along. We will do an update in 2 weeks' time to tell you how we're doing.
All right. Hello. How you doing?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm not bad. I'm excited about this little trader v trader sort of thing with Stake. So I thought it would be interesting just for us to kind of get together and just talk through what it is that we're going to be doing and stuff like that. And I don't know, I want to pick your brain as well on how you're going to approach this, and I can probably talk a little bit about how I'm going to approach it as well for people watching this.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I'm really excited to do it. It's so different from anything I've ever, like any approaches I've ever taken, because obviously I'm very long-term investing. So this is exciting, and well, I'm a little bit nervous as well. But it should be fun.
Yeah, to be honest, I am a long-term investor, kind of like you. And this basically for me, it means you've got to take a different tact. Because you're looking, it's only 6 weeks, so you're looking for things that are going to return decent returns over a 6 weeks period. It's not, I generally don't look for a 6 week period. So whilst I kind of know what I'm doing, I'm not fully in full knowledge of what I'm doing, because I'm going to have to approach companies in a completely different manner. So I think, a little bit of nerves on my side as well, because it's like, okay, so am I going to pick the right ones, or am I not going to pick the right ones? You just never know at the end of the day, because you can't control the markets. And I think that's going to be a really big lesson as well to kind of bring through in this process too. Yeah,
I think so. And it'll be really interesting to see how well we both do just generally, not just the whole like who's going to win, because obviously that's exciting, but just to see if it's even possible. Like I know so many people on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok like talk about all these like massive gains that they make over short terms, and it'll be interesting to see whether that's actually feasible.
Yeah, true. Actually, so what sector are you going for? Because I'm going to go for tech, and I kind of have an idea of what I'm going to do and the companies that I'm going to pick. Well, not explicitly at this point in time, but I know I'm going to choose maybe 10 to 15 companies from the tech sector. I probably know about 4 or 5 already. I need to do research for additional 10. But you just alluded to something there that, my approach isn't going to be to scalp trade this on a daily basis. I don't have the time to do that. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go highly speculative, and I'm probably going to buy and hold them for the 6 week period, maybe trade out if I need to.
Yeah.
But that's what my approach is going to be, because I don't have the time to do the analysis and scalp on a daily basis, which is where most of the guys who would do short-term trading, that's what they'll be doing, which is where you can make some really, really good returns, because you're in there, you're out very, very quickly. And I'm not going to be looking at leveraging. I'm not going to be looking at longing or shorting either of those stocks as well. So it's going to be about what their actual performance is on the upward trajectory, not shorting on the downside.
Yeah, no, pretty much similar to you. Like I wasn't planning to go for the day trading. I like barely keep up with life as it is right now with everything I'm doing. So I think the sort of day trading isn't really for me. I've been reading an interesting book recently about picking shares that perform, and it sort of talks about all these different approaches to trading. And I've been sort of thinking about that and which approach I'm going to take. And there's an interesting one in there which just talks about like outsider information. So how insider trading, and it really resonates. And I think, well, I'm picking the renewable energy sector. Let's start with that. And I think with renewable energy, it's so big right now in terms of like people talking about it and thinking it's going to grow, but it's not been around for very long. So there's not that much analysis as such that you can do. A lot of these companies that are probably going to do really well are still really new. So you don't have a history that you can really reliably look at. So, even companies like Tesla, look at the returns they've made, but actually they've only just started making a profit. So it's going to be a challenge, but I'm seeing it as a good challenge. Like it'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting as well. And obviously with stake, because it's like the US market is really where you want to be for this kind of stuff anyway. They're the biggest market on the planet and everything. And stake are, US experts pretty much. So it'll be interesting to see where the portfolios are going to essentially sit when we do the update in the next video in a couple of weeks' time. Do you have an idea of what companies you're going to go for? Are you looking at any fund managers or investors at the moment for a few hints and tips of where you might go?
So I've got an idea of a few similar to you, like a few that I've already got in mind, that I already invested in my normal portfolio. But what I was thinking was similar to you, 10 to 15. But actually, I was thinking to have a chunk of it chosen by my subscribers. So
Okay.
I thought that might be fun to incorporate into it, to sort of use the collective knowledge and see which ones come up a lot. So I was going to sort of try and approach it that way, like smaller percentage subscriber chosen, a couple sort of maybe bigger, more well-known stocks, and then the rest probably highly speculative.
Yeah.
I've been having a look at Simply Wall Street. So they've got a lot of like categories that you can look at, and one is about like best performing sort of renewable energy stocks. So I was kind of thinking of like making my way through that list and then sort of using a combination of that and then like the stake analyst ratings to try and have a look and see if I want to go for them.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do on the tech side. I definitely have 5 that I know of straight away, that will go into the portfolio. I get questions on stocks all the time. I don't necessarily get, actually, no, within my Discord group, to be fair, I get a ton of suggestions, this one, that one, and we do stock analysis within there as well. So there's probably a handful of some that I could probably get from the Discord group in there. But it's interesting actually bringing your subscribers in. I might actually think, I don't know how I'd actually do that, but that's actually really, really interesting actually. Maybe if people are watching this on my channel, if you want to suggest some stocks, then by all means suggest stock, but they have to be in the tech sector. I want to go quite speculative with it. So I'm looking for something that could potentially give us a really good return over the next 6 weeks or so. But yeah, interesting approach.
Yeah, I like that with the comments, because initially, so I'm thinking sort of my Facebook group and Instagram, but actually comments is a good idea. So yeah. Should do that.
Good. So with this, we know that it is going to be winner takes all, no pressure or anything like that. But I'm actually very, very, for me, I think it will be a learning curve, particularly when it comes to that short-term trading period, because it's not something I typically do. And I'll be interested to see actually what lessons come out of the back of this as well. I.e., do I pick something that actually it was never a good pick in the first place, but because I'm being speculative, maybe some of the fundamental stuff that I would tend to do anyway goes out the window. Who knows? I don't know. But I think whatever happens, it will be a really nice experience just to kind of like learn. And hopefully, people watching this will find value out of it as well.
And we'll do like a lessons learned at the end, right? So it'll be good. Yeah.
And I think we've got a live stream as well also that we're going to do just as a bit of an update to it as well.
I'm very competitive. I don't know about you, but I'm like, even though I don't know much about this and it's like so feasible that I will lose, I'm so competitive.
me and you both. Because I'm like, no, I don't want to lose. And the thing is, right, if you do 1% performance more than me, I'm going to be like, oh my God. Whereas if it's going to be like 10%, I'll probably be like, all right, that's not really good. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting.
It's funny because like I know a big premise of it is like the winner takes all in terms of the money. But for me, a big part of it is just because I'm competitive. I just want to win. Like not even about the money, just about winning.
That was one of the things that when Andrew emailed, I was like, oh, this sounds really, really good. Competition, right? Really, really good. So yeah. But as all things, guys, if people are watching this, I think ultimately it is going to be a learning curve because this kind of stuff can't be controlled. And like it is going to be fundamentally on the choices that we make and the companies that we effectively pick.
Yeah.
There could be wrong companies in the wrong week because that is the reality. Like with this over a short period of time, if one of the companies we go and pick has like a really bad day or a bad week, that could pretty much be it. And that's part of me was like, well, do I go speculative or do I just go and get some like proper foundational companies and let them bumble on? But it's really, really hard to kind of gauge. If you want high risk, or high returns, you've got to go high risk. So that's what I'm going to do. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think the thing to remember is it's going to be about the performance on that day, really, isn't it? Because I could be
beating you up until like the day before, and on that day something happens and like two of my best performing stocks crash, and then I lose. Like there's no way to predict. And I think that's why, you know, most sort of long-term investors like us, we don't zoom in, we always zoom out of like the charts. You can have so much volatility, but as long as overall it goes up, it doesn't matter. So
so it's kind of like flipping on its head now, because we're going to be paying attention to like the short term, the intraday reports and what's going on, more than it doesn't really matter, it's fine, I'm in here for a while, so it will come back. We don't have it's weird. It's going to be really, really weird in terms of a mindset and headspace thing to get my head around as well.
Yeah, it'll be tough, but I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, very, very interesting indeed. So yeah, good luck, and I'm sure we'll have an update, won't we?
Yes.
In a couple of weeks' time to see where we are, and we've got a live stream, so we'll see what happens. So hopefully everybody wishes us luck as well.
Good luck to you, and let the best man win.
Yes, indeed. Cheers, Anna.
Speak soon.
That's it for this video, guys. Wish me luck, and I will see you soon. Bye.